Lord of the Rings came about, and I became obsessed. And then some of the first books I read was actually Anne Rice, which is hilarious because I should not have been reading that at like 11 years old. She's very, very much of a dark writer, but I fell in love with it. And so reading actually didn't come natural to me at first. I didn't like it. I rather have those movies, but I always had a really active imagination. Like I remember when I was little and I would be in bed, and I couldn't sleep, I would start playing, like I would create my own movie reels in my head as me starring as the actor, the main actor, and in using these elements, whether putting myself into a Star Wars, theme or whatnot. And then in fourth grade, my school was doing this book challenge, and it was, you read 50 books. And then in November, you got to go to Warrensburg College, where you would be able to meet a bunch of authors and get their books signed and things of that nature. It was a huge book fair. And I was like, I ain't doing that. I ain't working. Like, I'm not reading 50 books. There's no way. So then my mom and dad, and they were divorced at the time, but they went back to my parent teacher conference, and my teacher was like, yeah, we have this great opportunity, but Jessica hasn't been, participating. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to read. I don't want to go. I don't care. And they're like, no, you're going to. So within a month, I read 50 books. So whether it be at my mom's house or my dad's house, they locked me in the room basically, and I just read the whole time. And I thought I was going to hate it, but I ended up loving it. And at that point, I haven't stopped reading. I rather read than watch movies. So yeah, then my imagination just became more active and active. I remember my freshman year, I had my mythology course in my language arts class, and I became obsessed with mythology. I always kind of have loved those creatures and those things that aren't real. So yeah, it's just like, it's a great way to escape, whether it be, I know for me, like things that I went through traumatically as a child, I used, my fantasy imagination to escape. And then I fell into the world of World of Warcraft and, League of Legends and all of those things, and Dungeons and Dragons, and kind of like exploring all of those different avenues that have built this platform that's still growing. I mean, we have so many more people now that are involved in fantasy and sci-fi than even 10 years ago, because of all the Comic-Cons and the conventions and things of that nature. So yeah, I really studied my craft in the beginning because I loved it. And then now I'm using all these things that I have accumulated over the past, 20 years of my life to put into my book.
Wow. So it's been a long journey for you, doing this, and obviously something which, like you said, is something which you like to do. So you said, what is the second planned book you were saying is coming out?
Yes. So the first book, it's called Witches of Triora. That is a series, and the first book is called The Vessel. So this one isn't as much. This is, I would say, paranormal fantasy. I took a religious studies course in college, and I became kind of obsessed with it. So I have my own religion, Christianity, but I kind of became obsessed with other religions and how they all connected together. And so I always have been interested in like the lure of a witch and what that means and things of that nature. So this book is a 3-book series, and I'm hoping with a promise of a prequel, because I already have an idea for a prequel that I really want to kind of